everyone, welcome back to another video. This breakdown is going to be on a wonderful trade that made me over $5,000 US profit in about a 30-minute window. And yeah, just a beautiful trade on AUD USD. What I recommend is bringing out your notepad. Hopefully you guys can learn something, and let's jump into the video. So you know it's nothing new now. When I look at the chart, the first thing I want to do is look at the higher time frame, look what we're doing, right? And if you look at AUD right now in the price action, AUD USD, you can see that we were trending down very nicely. We've been bearish since this whole leg up here all the way down, and this is our new structure point from this candle high to this candle low right here, right? So if I just mark that out like this and then down like this. So this is the price leg that we're playing within. Within this price leg, we have a nice order block right here that I wanted to see price come into. I was waiting for this all week, and you can see the price action on the way up there. If you guys remember in my last video, I was talking about how momentum is a great indicator of where the market is going to go, right? If we look right here, strong bearish momentum and then choppy bullish momentum into the origin of the move. So when I'm seeing this is great. If we came out of this area very strong, I wouldn't be looking for shorts here, but because we came in very nice and corrective on the higher time frame, that only added to my confluence of the shorts, right? So then I'm breaking down to the lower time frame, and I'm looking for some liquidity, and I'm also looking for any imbalances that price could come into. We look right here, that's right here, right? We have a nice fair value gap right here, and we have a nice buy side liquidity pool right here that we ended up sweeping. We ended up making equal highs with it, and then we took it out very nicely on Wednesday earlier in the morning. So I'm just going to mark this out as liquidity, and I'm gonna make this line red or beige, whatever that color is, for a second, okay? So you can see this is liquidity. So when I get in the morning and I see this, then I'm jumping down to the hourly time frame, right? This relates back to my last video where I talked about how I do a top-down analysis, starting the higher time frames, go all the way down. You can see here, we have Asia, right? So Asia is the session that swept liquidity. I don't usually like to trust Asia sessions when they sweep liquidity. A lot of the time I think they'll get swept and then the move will happen. But if we're paying attention to this price action here, you can see that we had the candle sweep. It broke down, but then it rejected off this order block, failing to create a new low. So when I see this, I consider this as liquidity, and I consider that we are potentially going to sweep that high again. So now I'm just going to quickly mark out this high as my next buy side liquidity pool. You guys can see that. I'm going to make this solid just so it's a little bit more clear. You guys know that I personally only trade New York session, but specifically a specific window. So when New York session starts, I let a lot of the manipulation happen. Then I look to enter around 9:30. I find my strike rate then is a lot better, right? So let's just see what happens here. You can see London session mitigated Asia order block over here, leaving more buy side liquidity, right? If we drive this across, and we know that when we take one, we're gonna be looking for the other. So this is just building my thesis for the shorts, right? So let's just play this out for a second. So you can see news event released. What does it do? We come down, take this low, sell side, take this low, sell side, right? Now the market is most likely going to head upwards. So this was a little trap here, a little inducement for the move that I want to see. Boom, you can see we then pop above at 9 o'clock. Now, since we are around 9 o'clock, I'm getting on the charts usually at this time. So now I get an alert that we've ran this high, which is great. Now I'm waiting for my hours, right? So it's about 9:10. You can see we have a nice strong move down at 9:20. Another one, right? So we've taken out this liquidity pool here. DXY took out an old low, which was adding more confluence here, right? So I'm just gonna drag this across for more clarity. I'm gonna drag this across for more clarity. This whole analysis was sent out in the Discord as well before each morning. I will send out the pairs that I'm looking at and where, so I can pop that up on the screen here with the analysis that I was looking at on AU. It was nice because a couple members caught the trade as well, which is beautiful. It's always nice being in the same trade as the team. But once we are in my point of interest, then I jump down to the lower time frames. So I'll take a look at the 3-minute, see how it's looking. I'll take a look at the 2-minute and see how it's looking. But for me, the main time frame that I used on this one was the M1, but you didn't have to, but let me just show you. When I'm looking at the M1 here, I see that we swept liquidity here, and then we caused a break to the downside. We broke below one low, and then we broke below 2 lows, 3 lows. So clear sign of bearish momentum. I'm just gonna mark this one out. I also see this order block as a smart money trap, where a lot of traders who are trading SMC will be looking to get in on this order block. But like I've said in previous videos, I like to see an inducement, right? I like to see liquidity resting above or below my entry depending on the bias. So right here, I'm going to be using this as liquidity, and I'm going to be using this imbalance here as the point of entry, right? So I'm just going to mark this out as fair value gap. You can see the time of day. So we are now coming into my hours, and we are coming up very, very nicely, right? Very, very nicely, building what? We're building sell side liquidity, if I just mark this out. Now, my entry, I market executed just above here at 534-ish, anywhere in this imbalance. It ended up filling me at 531, I believe, which is not bad at all. And my stop loss was just above the high at 602 or 603. I had a feeling there was a chance that we could potentially sweep this high. So I gave it a little bit extra room of a 602 stop placement. Usually I'll have it right on the high, but because of where DXY was, I knew there was a chance it could potentially sweep the low that I was looking at. So I wanted to have my stop just covered. So once I have the limit already and I'm targeting down at this week low, I'm going to press here. For those who don't know how to use FX Replay, click this risk reward tool right here, place order, sell, market execute. I'm going to make it a limit, and then there you go. So now the limit is pending. You guys are going to see here what happens once we come into the area. Imagine I had my stop right on this high, guys. I would have been taken out of this trade. This is still very, very valid to me, especially with where DXY was. I knew there was a chance we could potentially sweep this high. Now I'm just going to let the market do its thing. So once the market starts to break to the downside like this, I start to ask myself, okay, where are key areas that we could potentially reverse from? Yes, I want to target this low, but is there any areas that it could potentially reverse from and I can adapt and react to that? So I like to mark out this demand zone right here, because this demand zone is the reason market broke structure above this high, right? At the same time, DXY was going to take out an old high. So if dollar is going to take out an old high, what is most likely going to happen afterwards? The dollar is going to reverse. If the dollar reverses and starts to short, AU is going to long. So I started to ask myself, okay, what is the take profit at this demand zone? It's a 1 to 3. I am very, very happy with a 1 to 3 trade, okay? Never will complain about a 1 to 3 trade, especially when it's an area that it could potentially reverse from. So with that, I'm going to drag my stop to here, and let's play it out. Boom. Now, I want to show you guys how amazing the pullout game was on this trade, right? Look what happens. Comes all the way up. This probably would have taken me out at break even, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Pay attention to key reversal areas and bank your profits. Whether you want to take partials here, I'm not a partial guy, so I'll either drag my stop like I talked about. As the trade moved down, I dragged it above here. I ended up closing right here. But yeah, just be mindful of where the trade is going to go, because it doesn't have to go to where you want it to, right? And you can still bank profits on the way to that target. When it goes there, that's amazing. But when it's in areas that it can potentially reverse from, be aware of that and react to what the market is showing you, instead of, just marrying a certain bias that this trade will hit TP, blah, 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 blah. 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 is beautiful, right? And when you're doing that consistently, that's where you start to see crazy results. I know people who do 1 to 1s and they have great, great success. It's all about what works for you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this nice little trade breakdown. I got a bunch of requests on Instagram after I shared this one. If you guys aren't following the RM Trading Instagram, go to the description of the video. Also, my Instagram is there as well. I share some stuff, but mainly I'm posting now on the RM Trading Instagram. So make sure you follow that. We're on the way to 10,000 on that, which is crazy. So yeah, I just appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope you guys had a great trading week. And what do I say at the end of every single video? Let's be 1% better every single day. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.